Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of America's oldest and the most chilling unsolved mysteries. The lost colony of Roanoke. Picture this, it's the late 1500s, a time of ambitious exploration. England wants a piece of the New World, and a charismatic courtier named Sir Walter Raleigh is leading the charge. After a couple of scouting missions, he decides an island off the coast of modern-day North Carolina, called Roanoke, is the perfect spot for England's first permanent American settlement. In 1587, a group of 117 men, women, and the children set sail from England, full of hope for a new life. They were led by a man named John White, who was also a talented artist. His beautiful watercolor paintings of the local Native American people and the landscape give us a precious glimpse into this long-lost world. But from the very beginning, things didn't go as planned. They arrived too late in the season to plant crops, and their relationship with the local tribes, like the Croatoan and the Sachotan, was tense and complicated. It had been soured by previous English expeditions that had been aggressive and untrustworthy. Facing dwindling supplies and a harsh winter ahead, the colonists made a difficult decision. They persuaded their governor, John White, to sail back to England to gather more resources and reinforcements. It was a heart-wrenching choice for him. He had to leave behind his own family, including his daughter, Eleanor Dare, and his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the very first English child born in the Americas. With a heavy heart, he promised he would return as quickly as possible. But fate had other plans. When John White arrived back in England, he found his country on the brink of war with Spain. The mighty Spanish Armada was preparing to attack, and Queen Elizabeth I commanded that every available ship be used for the defense of the realm. Suddenly, no more one could spare a vessel for a resupply mission to a tiny, faraway colony. White was trapped, desperately trying to find a way back to his family while a massive naval war raged. For 3 long, agonizing years, John White was stuck in England. Imagine his constant worry, his fear for the colonists, for his daughter and the granddaughter. Every day must have been torture. Finally, in 1590, after the Spanish Armada had been defeated, he managed to secure passage on a privateering expedition that agreed to drop him off at Roanoke on its way to raid Spanish ships in the Caribbean. On August 18, 1590, his granddaughter Virginia's 3rd birthday, John White finally landed back on Roanoke Island. But the sight that greeted him was not the bustling settlement he had left behind. It was an eerie, silent ghost town. The houses and the fortifications had been carefully dismantled, not violently destroyed. All the colonists, all 117 of them, were gone, vanished. A desperate search began. White and his men scoured the area, calling out for their friends and the family, but only silence answered. There were no more signs of a struggle, no more bodies, no more graves. It was as if the entire community had simply packed up and walked away. The only clues they found were 2 cryptic carvings. The letters J-Ero were carved into a tree near the shore, and on one of the main posts of the abandoned fort, they found a single, haunting word, Croatoan. Now, Croatoan wasn't just a random word. It was the name of a nearby island, now called Hatteras Island, and also the name of the friendly Native American tribe that lives there. Before White had left for England, the colonists had discussed a plan. If they ever had to leave Roanoke in an emergency, they would carve their destination into a tree. Crucially, they also agreed that if they were in distress or had been forced to leave, they would add a Maltese cross above the carving. But when White found the word Croatoan, there was no more cross. This suggested that they had left voluntarily and they were safe. White was desperate to sail south to Croatoan Island to find his family. It seemed like the obvious next step, but a powerful storm was brewing, a hurricane, in fact. The captain of the ship refused to risk his vessel and the crew in the dangerous coastal waters. His primary mission was privateering, not searching for lost colonists. His anchor cable snapped in the storm, and with supplies running low and the weather getting worse, the captain made the call. They had to abandon the search and return to England. Heartbroken and defeated, John White was forced to leave America for the last time, never knowing what became of his family and the colony he founded. He would die a few years later, the fate of his loved ones forever unresolved. So, What happened to the 117 people of Roanoke? This is where the mystery deepens and the theories began. The most popular and logical theory is that the colonists did exactly what the carving suggested. They went to live with the Croatoan people. They were starving, their governor was gone, and they needed help. It makes sense that they would seek refuge with a friendly tribe. For centuries, there have been stories and supposed evidence supporting this. Later European explorers in the Carolinas reported encountering Native Americans with gray eyes and lighter hair, who claimed their ancestors were white people. Some even used Old English words. In recent years, archaeology has provided some tantalizing clues. Excavations on Hatteras Island, the location of the Croatoan village, have uncovered European goods from the late 16th century mixed in with Native American artifacts. Things like a sword hilt, parts of agun, and English pottery have been found, suggesting some colonists did live there. But it's not definitive proof that all 117 of them assimilated. It might have been just a small group, or the items could have been acquired through trade. Of course, there are other, darker theories. One is that the colonists were attacked and wiped out by a less friendly tribe, perhaps on the orders of Chief Powhatan, Pocahontas' father, Captain John Smith. If the Jamestown settlement, which was founded nearby a few years later, wrote that Powhatan claimed to have orchestrated the slaughter of the Roanoke colonists because they were living with a rival tribe. However, there's no more archaeological evidence of a large-scale massacre at the Roanoke site. The dismantling of the settlement seems too orderly for a violent attack. Another theory is that they tried to sail back to England on their own. They did have a small ship called a pinnace. Perhaps in their desperation, they attempted the impossible journey across the Atlantic and were lost at sea. This would explain the complete lack of evidence, but it seems like a very risky and unlikely choice. And then there are the more far-fetched ideas that have popped up over the years, involving everything from disease to a zombie plague to alien abduction. While these make for great fiction, they lack any real evidence. The truth is likely something more grounded, yet just as fascinating. For over 400 years, the fate of the lost colony of Roanoke has captured our imagination. It's a story of hope, hardship, and profound mystery. Was it a simple story of assimilation with a new culture? A tragic tale of a desperate journey lost to the sea? Or a violent end that was covered up? The clues: a single word carved on a post, gray-eyed descendants. A few European trinkets are just enough to keep us guessing, but not enough to give us a final answer. The Roanoke colonists weren't just names on a list. They were families, children, pioneers who gambled everything for a new beginning and became the central figures in America's oldest unsolved mystery. What do you think happened to them? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's great mysteries, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next video.